Hi folks, back for section 6.2. Here we go. This is on division of polynomials. So I'm just going to give you 3 examples from this section. First one involves a trinomial being divided by a monomial. So there's a couple ways you can do it, but probably the most efficient way is to go ahead and break it into 3 different ones. So we have x cubed, 8x cubed, y to the 5th over negative 2x squared y minus 16x squared y squared over negative 2x squared y. What's next? Plus 4x to the 4th y to the 3rd. Am I in the way? Over negative 2x squared y. In doing it this way, you have to remember the rules for exponents in order to be able to do this correctly. So the first one is this one right here, and we're going to end up with 8 divided by negative 2, which is negative 4. X cubed over x squared is x. Y to the 5th over y is y to the 4th. Next, we move into this one. Negative 16 divided by negative 2 is positive 8. X squared over x squared is 1. X squared over, y squared over y is y. Why? Because I said so. Over here we have plus 4 divided by negative 2 is negative 2. X to the 4th over x squared is x squared. Y to the 3rd over y is y squared. And we're done. That's it. First example. Second example, we now have a trinomial divided by a binomial. And the first thing to think about always is, can I factor these things? So I'm going to take this one right here, and I'm going to go ahead and attempt to factor it. I say attempt because you never know whether it's going to work or not. Got a y squared, so we need a y and a y. 7 is what kind of number? What kind of number is 7?
Prime.
It's a prime number. Excellent. Prime number, so we can only have a 7 times a 1. It's the only way we're going to get it. But we're looking for factors of 7 that have a difference of 6. Well, that's 7 and 1. That's a difference of 6. So let's give this a negative 7 because that's a negative and that's negative, so this would be a plus. So now we factored it. Now we'll just put it over the x plus y. And look at that. Son of a gun, we actually have a 1. So that leaves us with this as the solution to this problem. Next, there's also division by our long division. This, let's see, factors of 18 that add up to negative 7. Let's see, 6 and 3, 2 and 9. Nope, nothing that does. So it's not factorable, so we're going to use its other method. That is long division, just like any other long division that you've ever had. Let's bring it down a little bit. So we end up with 2x squared minus 7x plus 9 as the dividend, the divisor. So the first thing we're going to look at is how many times will x go into 2x squared? Or what do we multiply x by to get 2x squared? And that would be 2x. Then we multiply. We get 2x squared. Then 2x times negative 2 is negative 4x. And now we're going to subtract. That's a 0. This becomes negative 7 plus 4, so that's negative 3x. Bring down the next term, that's a 9. And now we're going to do the next division. X goes into negative 3x negative 3 times. Now we multiply. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6. But again, we're going to subtract. And we get a 0 and a 3. Leaves a remainder. So we can either say that the quotient of this division problem is 2x minus 3 remainder 3, or the preferable, the way you should write it is plus 3 over x minus 2. And there you have it. That's enough for section 2. Thank you for listening.